We're rolling. All right, tell me your story.
Well, it was November the 8th, and we got up late, to be honest with you. So here it is, 6:10, daylight, and I'm walking across the field, and I see a little 6-point standing out there looking at me. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness, I'm late. Man, I may as well just forget it. Get on down to the corner where I was going to hunt, and there's one of the locals sitting down there. Asked me if I saw that buck. I said, yeah, it's a little 6-point. I said, you gonna hunt here? And he said, yeah, I didn't mess you up. I said, no, man, you ain't messed me up. So I went on down to another corner about a quarter of a mile further in the woods. And just before I get there, I look ahead of me right at that corner of the field. There's a little 6-point standing down there, looking out across this field. Well, he turns, goes out in the field, and just cuts the corner on that field. And I'm thinking, all right, if he does that, then any other buck comes through here is going to cut the same corner, take the same route. So I went around the corner and got up on the other side. I climbed up, usually 20 feet where I was. And sitting there, about 7:30, old coyote comes through. I draw on him, but I couldn't get a shot on him, so he eases on. I'm sitting there at 8:30. I'm looking around. Look behind me. There used to be, I jumped some does back in there the day before. Thought something might come that way, and I turn around and look to my left, and I see the rump of a deer. Can't see his head. It's behind a tree. I'm thinking, well, it's a pretty good sized deer. It might be a buck. So I hit my Primo's grunt, and he raises his head. Eases around, looks around, turns his head. I see all these points and all these horns, and I'm thinking, oh, I'm gonna have to grab a nitro pills before I can get to shooting. Well, he drops his head and goes back to eating again, and he's turned away from me. So I'm thinking, is he leaving? So I hit that Primo's grunt again, the rubberneck, by the way.
Right.
And he turns around, starts coming to me, and then it finally hits me. I see all these points. I'm thinking, oh, goodness gracious alive. He comes on to me. He stops. He's peeling around there about 30 yards out there. Then he picks up his head and he comes on a little bit further. He turns to go out in the field and he stops. I don't know, he's probably at 20 steps. And he's standing, his vitals are between two trees about this far apart. I'm looking, I'm thinking, all right, I got to take him this time. I pull my bow up, my draw on him, and I'm looking at that big deer, and I'm thinking, well, he's about 3 times bigger than anything I see in Florida. I said, this ought to be a piece of cake. Sure enough, I let that arrow go. Right through his chest it went. He leaves there, about this much of the arrow sticking out of his side. He runs 50, 60 yards across this field and piles up in the woods across the road, across the field.